Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Maniacal Music Musings. I am your host, Jeremy. As always, the one who puts all the hard work into this podcast for my musers who, all you musers out there, you're born to worship us. It's just the way it is. It was fate. It was meant to happen. But we are the wild, music-loving podcasters that you can't live without. But enough about me. You all know me. Let me introduce this infamous man who's not even on camera at the moment, but my co-host himself. He likes to sing and shout as he shows her a good time every night. And the nights he's not pleasuring his lady, he's out with the army of the night, trying to be higher than heaven in his crusade to be dead until dark. The music himself, folks, Mr. CJ motherfucking Plane.
Hello. I'm here. Kind of. Sort of.
You know, you live up to Chanty's answers to all those intros always. You live it up to it so well. Just the non-thrill. Jesus. But, folks, we are back once again. And do we have a guest this week? Oh, my God. That's right, folks. We have another official artist on the show, I'm happy to say. And because we are being joined by Brigitte Donoho, Christian recording artist. Welcome, Brigitte.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Oh, yeah, actually, well, it is. It is. These albums today, I actually am surprised by how happy I was with today's music. Trust me, I had mixed feelings when I first was going into this, but certain albums more than others surprised me. Looking down at you, big boy. But we'll get into that in a little bit, though. First things first. Bridget, tell us, what made you want to be a singer?
I feel like I didn't want to be one. I was kind of born singing. I listened to Whitney Houston, all of the greats growing up, and I started songwriting when I was in my teens and kind of put it away. Didn't really do much with it, and then I started back again when I was after I got married, and my husband didn't even know that I played the guitar, which is I mean, he knew I could sing, but he didn't know I could play the guitar. And my previous college and career night, we needed a worship leader. And I'm like, well, I can play guitar. And I hopped up there, and then the rest is history. I just picked it right back up and started doing songs. And, I love music and I love the gift of music. And it's a gift to be able to do it.
Exactly. And so I'm guessing you were, well, by what you just said, I'm guessing you already were a big part of the church by that point, so that's why you went the Christian direction.
Yeah, well, it's funny that you should say that. When I started doing you don't necessarily just because you lead worship want to do Christian music. So I
Yeah.
didn't really want to do it. I was leading worship and I wanted to do more of the country vein. And when I would go to write a song, everything that would come out was like a worship song. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess that this is what I'm supposed to do. And now, full circle, I've been doing this for about 15 years and I'm releasing a country song in about 2 weeks. And so it's a pop country love song for my husband. So, things have a way to kind of full circle and,
Very nice. Very nice. I could. I.
I've actually got a couple country songs that I've written. I wrote one for my mom, and I wrote one for my grandpa.
Love it.
Because the one for my grandpa's 99, and
Wow.
I attribute everything I am as a father and just as a man to what I learned from him. So I wrote this song called "The Old Man's Table," basically about all of my knowledge growing up was gained sitting at that table, listening to him over coffee, over family dinners. So it's basically a story of, just years of sitting at that table and soaking up, how you were supposed to work hard and how we loved my grandma. And it kind of comes full circle at the end of kind of comes full circle at the end of where at the end it says been here damn near 100 years now, through boom or bust, and it won't be long before glory calls and that table gathers dust. Every time life throws a punch and I don't know what to do, I'll just go home, pull up a chair, and see it through at that old man's table.
Oh, it's
So
so
it's
pretty. That's beautiful. What a great title for a song. Oh
yeah,
my word.
it started as a book idea. Actually,
Yeah.
I wanted to just sit with him because, you know, people of that generation, they know so much that
Yes.
was never truly handed down. Old canning techniques and just
Right.
farming stuff and just stories of survival that Gen X never kind of got, or millennials never got. And
Right.
I wanted it to be a book of just him sort of giving advice to the younger thing. And it never got around to that point because my grandpa's kind of a talker, but not really a talker. So I just thought, you know what, I'm going to turn it into a song. And I played it for him, and he kind of just looked at me and he's like, I didn't know you could write songs. And I'm like,
Aw.
really? Like, I spent my entire life ignoring you about this farm because I wanted to be a rock star.
Right.
He's like, oh, I thought that was just some dumb idea you had in your head. And I'm like, well, I'm 55 and I still got that dumb idea in my head. So
Yes. Never stop. Never stop.
but yeah.
Sorry about that, folks. I had to go bring the baby into her crib. So,
Aw.
yeah,
we were just
I heard.
so.
Oh, I hear everything, but I love Bluetooth for reasons. But well, Bridget, what album did you want to bring us today, and why'd you pick this particular one?
It's one of my albums, and I picked it because it's the last album that I've done. I've released a ton of music, but it's all been singles and shorter EPs. So this is the last full length album that I had put out, and I was in a totally different space musically, but I still love it, if that makes sense. And it's a time when I can look back and just reflect on kind of what I was going through and the season that I was in. It was about 10 years ago. So looking back 10 years ago, I had a baby, a young kids growing up and just absolute chaos, kind of like what you're going through right now. And
Amen.
music was just a really way for me to communicate with God in that season, because I felt a lot of brokenness and a lot of just questioning. And so that's kind of what this album is, a lot of just talking to God and wanting to be in a place of intimacy with him.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Well, DJ, I think I'm gonna let you go first this week for reasons we'll talk about in a little bit, but reasons.
I liked this record. It I know I'm probably off base by saying this, but it kind of reminded me of the old Rebecca St. James stuff.
Oh, I love her so much. Thank you.
It kind of had that vibe and feel of
Mhm.
what Rebecca, for those of you that don't know Rebecca St. James, Rebecca kind of went back and forth.
Mhm.
1 minute she would do more mellow stuff like this, more introspective stuff. But then she was also known for doing stuff that was sometimes in the Petra vein. So
Yeah.
she was pretty versatile.
Right.
So this was more like the introspective Rebecca stuff.
Right.
And she was a very powerful singer, very, very powerful advocate, I guess, or promoter of the Christian contemporary style. So
Yes.
these songs reminded me of some of her middle era stuff.
Right.
So that was kind of the thought I had about it. Really good songs, good setup, good instruments.
Thank you.
I really like the pianos in it. I love great piano. Especially when it's not, I don't want to say mellow, but when it's kind of just got that flow to it. and it just kind of lays into the groove of the song.
Yeah.
It's not trying to overtake anything or be bombastic. I leave that to like the Meatloaf and the Jim Steinmans for that kind of piano, but I like just a good sort of underlying piano in a song, because it really adds a beauty to a song if it's done the right way. So I enjoyed this record a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, as always, I start my day with the guest albums on Tuesdays at my job. I always first music I put on is always the guest album choice. So to start my day with Christian music was a little different from what I'm ever used to doing, to say the least. I haven't done that since I used to go to church on Sunday.
Heathen.
Back as
Heathen.
a kid. I ain't no damn heathen, CJ. Well,
I'm just teasing.
in some ways, I mean, okay. Well, just to put this out in the open, you don't know this about me, probably. I know you probably don't, but I also host a paranormal podcast, so I am highly, highly spiritual.
Okay.
I've debated the idea of a creator, the idea of heaven and hell, more times than I can count in my life in that show.
Sure.
So I believe I'm agnostic. I believe there's something out there. I just don't like to put names to it because I don't know its name. And to me, I feel like that's smiting if you call it where you don't know what its name really is. So, I mean, I'm not gonna call it a name that humans created either, because that's just smiting for centuries and centuries by calling it God. Not to offend any of our listeners who believe what they believe, but just saying that's my particular beliefs. There's something out there. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Part of me doesn't want to know, but part of me does. That's the introspective part of life. Is you don't want to know, but you want to know.
So with your paranormal podcast, do you go into spaces that may have supernatural activity, or how does that work? I'm super intrigued.
I don't do investigations at all.
Okay.
As you parlay earlier, busy family life. So investigations are not in the forefront, and I'm not taking my kids places they can get things attached to them. I'm good.
Right.
They're
Smart.
already demonic enough. They don't need anything attached to them. So, but it's so I mean, yeah, it's just it's conversations, over 300 conversations with people in different aspects of the paranormal, spiritual, supernatural world.
Okay.
So I've had reverends on. I've had scientists on who were highly Christian scientists and tried to tell me that people get abducted by UFOs because they listen to heavy metal. I'm like, what are you, from the 1950s?
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah, I almost lost them. That was the one time I almost lost it in my show. But
So
your
that
album,
they think that that's like the sole reason that UFO.
this
I'm just
one
so
guy,
curious. Okay.
one guy thought that. One guy, and he looked like he became a scientist in the 1950s, and he stuck with that idea since then.
Yeah.
You're listening to that Elvis Presley. You're going to hell, and
That's
the aliens
exactly
are
what
going
I
to
was
you.
thinking. Because they used, what was it on TV? Elvis would do like that hip thrusting, or the shimmy.
The
And
wiggle.
that's what was so offensive. And they're like, and they would only cover him from like the waist up.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
Oh,
I've had multiple run-ins with preachers and ministers that, I was 15, 16, and this was back in the 90s during the Satanic Panic era.
I remember.
And there was this famous minister who his whole spiel was, easy on the ears, heavy on the soul, and about how pop music was more satanic than actually metal was, blah, blah, blah. And he gave this big spiel at church one day, and he went to this whole list of, artists like Sting and Billy Joel and how their lyrics were this and that. And then I caught him because there was a band called Ludacris, and
Ludacris, like Luda, like the rapper Ludacris.
It was spelled Ludachrist, actually.
Oh.
But anyways, he went into this whole spiel about how Ludachrist had these satanic lyrics and they were so blah, 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 blah. And I stood up and I was like, oh, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, well, what's your question? I said, these satanic lyrics that you have on this record, do you have a copy of that record? Well, of course not. Why would I have a copy of it? I said, it's the weirdest thing. What's weird? I have that same exact record at the house. My copy is instrumental. There's no vocals or lyrics on the whole album. It's an instrumental record. So if you got one with lyrics that are satanic, I'd love to have it, dude, because I'm getting ripped off over here. Like, I've only got the instrumental version. Oh, he threw me out. You got to go. You're being disruptive. And he was angry that I basically was like, come on, dude, if you're going to do this, be honest about it. Like, you had me up until you're making fun of a band that's solely instrumental, claiming that they have satanic lyrics, and they don't even have a singer. It's a 3-piece band. There's a bass player, a drummer, and a guitar player, okay? Like, come on, bro. Like, don't be making stuff up,
Right. He didn't want to get called on his
yeah, like he was angry, the 15-year-old kid.
Yeah. He hadn't researched it well enough, and so he just
the record cover was very provocative. It had this sort of Iron Maiden type of look to it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one of them things where if he wouldn't have put them in there, I would have just sat there and listened, and it would have been okay, cool. Don't agree with 100% of it, but I get it, But when he brought that up, that was one of the records at the time, because they had this song called "Down with the Ship," and it was a bunch of famous songs that they had done a mashup of just like instrumental stuff, like famous party songs. And shut up, cat.
I was gonna say, is that kid or cat?
That's a cat.
Oh, is that your cat or is that just
no? It's my mom's cat. She's in heat, and mom's trying to find a home for her since she's in a nursing home now, and she's annoying, and it's just. Anyways, moving along.
You know that Reverend probably saw that. He was probably at the store and he saw that album on the shelf, and he probably just saw the name of the artist. He's like, I'm using that today.
Well, right. That's what I was saying. Like, had he not included it in there, he had a picture of Sting laying on the couch with a book by Anton LaVey laying on his chest. So he was making this argument. Sting is obviously a Satanist. He's reading a book by Anton LaVey.
Has he not heard of Marilyn Manson? My God.
And I was like,
And that was during the 90s too. Marilyn Manson, I was like 90s satanic panic. I used to listen to Marilyn Manson heavily when I was a kid. So
I was I've read The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich. I'm not a Nazi. I've read Uncle Tom's Cabin. I'm not a slave owner.
Right.
Reading a book by somebody doesn't make you automatically. Right. It's just knowledge,
I've read it.
Exactly.
I read, and I think I might still have somewhere Anton LaVey's book. Like,
that's what I'm saying. It's just one of them things. Like, look, words only have the power that you give them.
Yeah.
Period.
We were discussing that for the show.
We
actually,
literally just said that. We were saying like we were talking about like swearing and kids swearing and all that stuff, and because I was listening, I had to listen to the music, a lot of it in the car with my kids because I'm in basketball season right now, so we're just literally, I feel like we're living in our car. But anyways, going here and going there, so I needed something that was appropriate to listen to with the kids. But I'm like, I was talking to my husband the other day, and I'm like, words are literally just syllables. Like they're made up. Like it's just. I know that we give them much more power than they.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, want to listen to but listening to ICP in front of your kids is a whole nother level than just a word.
I know. My kids would be like, "What's happening?" They love harder music, but like we don't listen to like explicit stuff. So it's what they do. They have a very healthy repertoire of music, though.
It'd be like, Mom, why is this song called "I Fucked a Cop"?
They'd be like, "What's happening?"
Look, I've been there. I mean, I as a kid growing up, I bounced around from style to style, genre to genre, depending on where I lived. And, I had heard hip hop, but I never paid attention to it until I got to college. And my roommate was this black guy. His name was Carl, but he went by TV because he was an electronics major. And he come in one day and he's like, "Hey, let's go have dinner." And I was like, "Dude, I'm broke." And he's like, "I didn't ask you if you had money. Let's go have dinner." I said, "Okay." So he got in his truck and he's like, "What do you know about Public Enemy? Who the hell's Public Enemy?" He's like, "Oh, we gonna learn you something today." And he stuck Public Enemy in there. And he had the, back in the 90s, you had the stereos with the EQs, the Alpines, all of that.
Yep.
So he threw that in there. First song was 911 as a joke. And I just was kind of like, oh, damn. Hello. Chuck's voice come out, man. And it was that big, commanding voice, man. And I was like, Right after that, he's like, "You ever heard Ice-T?" Nope. I was like,
maybe
damn.
a little Biggie in there.
So Biggie hadn't even like come out at that point.
Oh,
this was like 91.
That's way pre-Biggie, yeah.
Yeah, so it was like Ice-T and Public Enemy were like my first real immersion into the culture.
Yeah.
And that was followed up by like Too Short, and then Two Live Crew came shortly after that. So both good and bad, I think, aspect of hip hop. I got this immersion into hip hop, and and then I learned Boogie Down Productions, and KSR1 is my favorite rapper to this day, because when I heard KSR1, I was just like, yeah, I want to do hip hop, because he was so smart in what he said, and his lyrical everything, even to this day. I mean, he's 63 years old and he's still a better lyricist than 90% of
most of them. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I've been lucky to kind of bounce around from place to place and pick up all this musical pieces here and there. So
getting back on topic though, 20 minutes later.
Sorry.
So yeah, like I said, listen to your album first thing today, and what immediately blew me away was your voice. Your voice immediately blew me away. I was like, oh my god! I'm like, she has such a killer voice for this. I'm like, it blew me away. The instruments definitely blew me away second, but the voice is what really set it home for me. I was like, oh my god! I'm like, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, I could so hear her doing some like symphonic metal singing. I could, because it's not like
I can scream. Like I can do a screamo scream.
Well, I mean, sometimes they have those, but symphonic metal is more melodic. It's not harsh, rough, or anything like that. I mean, your voice was kind of like reminiscent to me, almost of like Floor Jansen or Ned Olson, or even Sharon Del to a degree. I mean, nobody can match her voice. Nobody, but close. Oh, okay. CJ must be switching computers. I'm guessing. I just noticed he dropped. But yeah, I was blown away by your voice. So I'm like, wow, I would love to hear her in different genres and see what she could do in them. Like I just my mind started getting curious, like about like what it would sound like. So I'm like, okay, definitely bring that up in the show tonight. But there. Change computers?
No, I hit the wrong button.
I
was trying to. It went full screen on me, and I was trying to get it out of full screen, and I get closed. I forget. On the PCs, the close button is on the upper right corner, but on the Macs, they're in the upper left corner.
But yeah, like I could totally see your voice doing so. Like the topics of your songs are not bad. I mean, they're not like they weren't overbearingly Christian, where like every word's about it. Like they were thematic, which I liked. I really enjoyed that, and a couple of the songs I really enjoyed, the energy of them especially. But I mean, overall, I enjoyed the CD. I mean, am I ever gonna go back and listen to it again? And God, honestly, no. I mean, I'm not.
No
I mean, trust me. I have a brother who's born again, and I've heard enough modern Christian groups to kill me. But I'd rather listen to your music than most of them. Put it that way. But and I mean, yeah, and like CJ said, the instrumentals were amazing, but your voice is what blew me away more than anything. Because we've had artists come on the show before, and like, you have to be like, yeah, you can sing. But no, like, with you, I actually mean it. Like, it was like damn, like she can belt it out. Like that's impressive.
Thank you.
But yeah, I was telling her, CJ. I don't know if you heard or when you. I'm not sure when you dropped. I like kind of looked up and you were gone. But I was telling her like I'd love to hear her do like symphonic metal style almost singing. Yeah,
I
like
could hear it. I
yeah,
could hear it. I mean, it's definitely.
I can hear her doing some Floor Jansen's style singing, like definitely, or even
There,
I told her
there's a
Sharon
Christian
too.
band from Sweden called HM that is sort of the Christian version of like Nightwish and Within Temptation. And
I will not look them up. Actually, I might have heard them. I think, but
I'll look them up.
They're actually really good. And they're not super overbearing as far as you can tell they're Christian, but they're not like super overbearing like some not like what Savior Machine is per se, because he writes.
This is what you told me about Serenity, and we saw how that went.
Serenity writes more from a historical viewpoint, though, than I mean, they are a Christian band, but they write more just from a historical viewpoint of like Richard the Lionheart and the Crusades and.
Well, you just wait, my good sir. We'll talk about a band that talks from the same historic points later today. But I know, I killed you with that one. But yeah, I enjoy this album. I actually want to go. I actually plan on going through some of your singles, like recent singles, and like I played through a couple of them, but the newest two are super Jesus-y. So I was like, I can't. I was just like, please tell me this is not what the album's like. Please tell me it's not what the album's like.
Well, my new country song, there's no Jesus in it at all. It's a love song. So if you like country.
Since you said that earlier, I'm actually dying to hear that. I'm dying to hear how that.
So listen to it with your wife.
I don't think my wife will do country, but I will listen. I'll listen to it. My wife is stuck in the '90s, for God's sake, but she can't get.
The '90s were the best, so I can't fault her.
I prefer the '80s or 2000s personally, but that's me. But well, depends what we're talking about, what genre we're talking about, but that's a whole nother conversation. So here's the fun part always, and the hard part for you. What would you say are your top 5 or how many top songs you would pick off your own album? I mean, there's only 6 or 7 tracks, so if you can't pick 5, I'm not going to fault you.
Oh man, it's hard. Probably Sing and Shout, Pure Worship, Savior. Children of God. And I do still really like Born to Worship. So there we go. There's the 5.
Impressive. She got 5 out of 7. That's impressive. I can't guarantee I did the same, but CJ, what were your top songs off it?
I didn't make a list for hers because I didn't want to like just list the whole CD essentially. Cause
right.
I did like every song. There were no like bad songs to me. This honestly is a record that it's perfect the way it is, but it's also a record that even in like an instrumental form, I could listen to this record and just kind of have it playing like background, and it would be a record that I would enjoy. Almost kind of like an evangelist style, like Chariots of Fire type of style.
Yeah. Thank you.
So, it's a really well composed record. It's not bombastic, but it's pretty and it's got a lot of cool parts in it, very well put together.
Yeah. Definitely a good album to start your day off with. That's for sure. I've had some albums I had to start my day off with, and I'm like, why? I don't want to listen to this first thing in the morning. But I mean, like CJ said, they were all good songs. I appreciate them all for different things, but there were 2 that really stuck out to me, so I made note of those. Born to Worship was the first one. That one kind of stuck out. The instruments really blew me away in it, and it just I can't even say why it registered me because I was not born to worship anything, but still, it, I wrote down and it had some lasting impact on me. But Sing and Shout, the first song, that's a song that really blew me away. The energy in that song, like it just like the energy in the background of it was just like, oh my god, like it woke me right up to start the album off that way. I was like, hello, okay, we're jumping freaking face first into this, okay, but I liked it because it wasn't over Jesus-y. It was perfect. It was kind of just like a spiritual uplifting song, which is what
Right.
it should be, which is exactly
Yeah.
what it should be. So I that song really blew me away. Honestly, that song I actually might even add that song to my like list. I got 9,000 I got 9,000 freaking songs in there, so I'll hear it probably once every 6 months for God's sakes. I don't hear 90% of my music.
Right.
Spotify likes to repeat things over and over again. I don't know why, but their algorithm is so screwed. But so yeah,
It
I
sure
mean,
is. Yeah.
but I yeah, I definitely will. I followed you because I want to see. I always like to see what artists of my show like end up doing, coming out with in the future. And if I see they have like stuff coming out, I usually try to get them back on the show too eventually. But so I always follow the artists that are on my show because I feel like it's kind of the job as well. But I'm always excited to see what they do next. It's always an adventure. When you actually like have talked to somebody personally and know them, it's always an adventure to like see like where they go in life. But
Right.
well, with that, oh boy, CJ, what did you want to bring and why?
Man, I debated back and forth. At first I was gonna bring Silent Screams by Res Band, but I thought, okay, that might be a little overly bombastic. And then I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go with Seven. But Seven is kind of again, little in the hip hop style. He's very, very blatantly Christian, but he does it in a gangster rap style. If Snoop Dogg was a street preacher, he would be Seven, basically.
Snoop Dogg does have a gospel album, so
Yes, he does.
Seven's got this whole group of. So I was kind of like, okay, who can I do that? I didn't want to do Lecrae because I really don't like Lecrae, and Lecrae to me
he's so mainstream that it's
he doesn't seem genuine to me. Like Lecrae just doesn't. I don't know. So I went with D1.
Yeah.
D1 is somebody who people know, but they don't know him as well. And he's actually a school teacher who became a rapper, and he is incredibly versatile, but he does it in this really kind of uplifting, positive way without being super blatant and in your face. This particular record I brought is one it was a collab he did with Murs. I love Murs because Murs is that he's one of the best lyricists that people mostly don't know. So it's a record called He's the Rapper, I'm the Christian. Murs being the rapper, D1 being the Christian.
Yeah.
And it's just cool.
Flip it.
What do you mean?
He's the Christian, I'm the rapper. You said it backwards.
Oh, I write it backwards? I'm sorry. Well, D1 is the Christian part, Murs is the rapper part. And it's one of many great records that D got famous. He did this video. I can't think of the name of it, but basically he's making fun of Jay-Z, Kanye, and Nas for not for basically creating rap music that basically capitalizes on masochism and that kind of stuff, and not being willing to admit to it. And then he kind of went from there, and there's a second part. So I really like D. He's a Southern rapper, but he's a great artist, man. He's melodic and funny in places, but very poignant with what he says. And the fact that he's got Murs on this one makes it even better because Murs is incredible in his own right. So, yeah, that's who I brought.
Yeah, I have opinions. Maybe good, maybe bad. We'll see. But first things first, I want to hear what our guests thought of it.
I really liked it. I thought it was very smart, especially the back and forth, and the questioning. And he talked about, I come from a background where he's talked about slaying in the spirit, where pushing people over, and he's like, is that, and then the crooked preachers and different things, like things that you wrestle with sometimes. And so I loved the dialogue, because I struggle with that sometimes too, because I love honesty and I love truth. And so when you see people are getting taken advantage of, and they're like, put more money in the plate, and like it just feels like a racket sometimes. And I hate that. And so I really like that he was willing to, as a Christian, address those things head on and have an honest conversation. And even talking about, racism and all the things that sometimes people don't want to talk about, especially in the Christian music industry. They kind of shy away from it. I loved how he attacked it head on. And it was very conversational. It wasn't super in your face, but it was like, let me ponder on this. Let me think on this. So it was really good. I loved it.
And she actually knew who D1 was ahead of time. I had no idea who this person was. So,
A lot of people know. Like, he's.
but yeah, okay. Let me start off by saying, you sent me this album cover, and I'm like, who's this Will Smith DJ Jeff wannabe?
He sounds nothing like either one of them.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's funny because he actually mentions Will Smith in one of his songs. But
Yeah.
but I mean, it's basically, I'm like, all right, he's using Will Smith's album cover and just copying it completely. And then I read the bio and I'm like, oh, he was a teacher and he became a rapper. Okay, Killer C. But so I mean, take elements from a lot of rappers I actually do like, and I mean, I actually really like this album. I'm not gonna lie, he wasn't. I wasn't sure how Jesus he was gonna be, and he tread the line very well. He didn't go overboard on any of it. He
Mhm.
I honestly, I almost wish I freaking brought Aquelio today when I heard his stuff. I'm like, oh, Aquelio does what he does, but so much better. But they're also not Christian, so it would have been it's a little difference there. But they talk about corruption in the churches the same way. Well, maybe with a little more flair and some explicit lyrics, but still, same thing. But I actually really enjoyed this album. The lyrics were really well done. The the beats were incredible. The beats were freaking incredible throughout the album. Even the intro and outro and midtro were pretty damn decent. So I was like, all right, I'm kind of impressed by this. I'm like, do I want to go listen to more of this kid's stuff? I'm like, not really. But I could listen to this album and actually not get bored with it or get like pissed off I had to listen to it actually. So
Yeah.
which has happened with rappers, Chris Webby. But
you would actually like the Kanye 50
I
Yeezy one.
It's funny you say that because as you know, I made up a diss song bracket a long time ago, and I'm pretty sure both parts of that are on it. But
okay, yeah, because there is part one and part two.
When you said the three names he made fun of, I was like, wait a minute. I'm like,
he wasn't making fun of him. He was calling them out on.
Yeah.
Well, he was dissing them, whatever. But he was dissing them, and I'm like, wait a minute. Maybe that's why the name D1 sounds familiar. It's like maybe I remember making that bracket years ago and seeing that on there. But yeah, I mean, the album overall was really well done. The flows, the beats, the lyrics, they were all. It was good rap. It was a good rap album. Is it as good as the Will Smith one we talked about last week? No, of course not. But it's. I mean, Will Smith's new album is fire. But I mean, Will Smith basically is a Christian rapper until this new one because he doesn't curse in all of his old albums. But in this new one, not so much. But yeah, I enjoyed it, man. You didn't disappoint. I wasn't sure what to think when you brought it, but I was pleasantly surprised by how good it was. So,
I mean, it's not going to be for everybody, but it's one of them. I like D. Like he's one of them guys that I could put down in the car and just kind of vibe to it, and he's not like overly bombastic like Seven, but he's not like disingenuous like Lecrae is, because Lecrae, like I said, I listen to him and I don't know, man. I don't. It's going to sound cheesy to say. I don't feel the spirit in anything that Lecrae does. It's just so commercial sounding. It's like he's just going through the motions to like rake in that money.
Probably. I could see
You
that.
know, like he doesn't have any of the conviction that like what Datton or Bizzle or Subin or
Oh, Bizzle. All right.
I love Bizzle.
I love
Bizzle is
Bizzle.
actually connected to Subin.
Okay.
They're on the same label. So Subin is kind of the Snoop version of Bizzle.
Okay.
But he's very aggressive in his style. Like it's, you know, like it is gangster rap to its core, just done in a Christian style.
Yeah.
But you know, I like D. You know, and I'm not the biggest 50 fan, but I will give 50 credit. When he did that song, 50 was the only one of the 4 rappers to actually message D and say, look, I get it. I'll do better, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. The other 3 just kind of whatever. So I'll give 50 credit where credit is due on that. That, you know.
The other 3 are used to getting dissed. Who you can, but they just rub it off. But
the other 3 have more money than God, so they don't
right. They don't care.
You know, there's nothing you can say to Jay-Z that's going to change Jay-Z's mind. The guy's worth billions of dollars. So,
well, I mean, they could easily go to him now and be like, "Did he said some things?" And he would probably turn pale white. But
still waiting for all that to roll out. I mean,
oh, it will eventually. But
time will tell.
So, what are your top 5 of your album, CJ?
I only named 3. Number 1 is Hallelujah because it has Chris Calico on it, and I love Chris Calico.
I want to like that because Chris Calico was on it. I couldn't like it.
Number 2 is Tough Questions because again, he talks about stuff that most churches will die on a mountain to avoid, basically. Yep. And he does it in an intelligent way. And number 3, I named it because I love the beat of the track more than the actual track itself. But there's also a line that Murs delivers. Get Blue is my 3rd one. Murs is kind of questioning, you know, all the things that people question. Why is there war? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But he mentions, why would God let my daughter die? And as a parent who has lost a child, that line hits every time. Like it's kind of like, you know, yeah. you try to be a good person, a good Christian, blah, 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 in the traditional way that they tell you to be. But as a human being, it's just in your nature to question things like they're talking about in this song. Why do things like this happen? Why do people like such and such and such and such continue to live while heroes that save people pass away? You know, why? How is that fair? And again, I like the intelligent way that D can put it in words without it being overbearing or overly preachy, or it's just he's so smart in the way he says stuff. And I think that's the number 1 thing I like about D is he's really, you know, he's so intelligent. You can tell he's a teacher. Like the words he uses and the way he talks and flows, the teacher comes out, you know. So
yep, 100%. And I mean, as somebody once said, only the good die young. But basically,
that doesn't make it any better.
It doesn't. But very true song though.
Oh,
with an amazing guitar riff. But what were your top 5 or however many songs from this, Brigitte?
Unfortunately, I did not write them down. I listened to it about 2 times completely through, but because when I was listening to it, I didn't have like any,
I couldn't
write it down. But I generally I liked the whole project. I really thought it was very quick-witted. I thought it was very smart. And I loved wrestling within lyrics. And I think that God is bigger than our questions, and it's okay to question. It's okay to get mad. It's okay
I should have brought
to be human.
I should have brought Coelho. But actually, the album I would have brought for that the album I would have already brought, so couldn't do it anyway. But in the first album, ain't nothing religious about the first album. But so, all right, CJ, I actually had one honorable mention for this because it was actually that well done. Show Her was actually no, I didn't. I can't read my own freaking typing apparently. My number 5 was Show Her because the flow in that song was amazing.
Yeah.
My number 4 was They Don't Want Me to Win because I felt that
That's
song.
a great song.
I felt that song. That song's a good life message. And my number 3 was How Great because the flow and the beat together are freaking phenomenal. And I mean, it is a good religion song. If I'm gonna listen to a religion song, that's a good one. But my number 2 was Too Dark Skin, Too Light Skin because I know it's a real thing that's out there in the community for the African Americans. Like I know, and other races as well. I know that's actually like a competition type thing they have. I don't understand it or why they care, but whatever. People are going to fight what they're going to fight about. But so I'm like, that song was actually well done, and I really don't hear rappers talk about that too often. And it's kind of funny to hear them talk about it almost because it's one of those things in life that's always made me laugh. Like I've had friends in college who wouldn't hang out with their kids because they were too light skinned. I'm like, but you hang out with me. I'm lighter skinned than they are. What are you talking about? And I'm just like, but I'm like,
Dee's discussed that song in interviews about being mixed because he's half black and half white.
Right.
Of how he was too white for the black side of the family, but too black for the white side of the family. And it's a real thing in
it is.
those communities.
And I don't get
a lot of kids deal with.
I don't freaking get it. But I love that he called himself dark skinned Will Smith, but that made me laugh. But my number 1 was Hard Work. Because once again, it was a message that I think is well said in that song. There's a really good message in there about life, and everything about it was amazing. Everything about that song just blew me away, and I'm like, all right, that's top of the list. That's definitely top of the list. So hard work pays off, though. Sometimes getting harder and harder to make it pay off in this world, but it works eventually. But all right, and not bad. I had a few of his songs to my like list. Damn that cat.
Aww.
You'd think somebody was in there killing it, but he's just in the bathroom. Got food, water, a bed to lay on.
I was gonna say, CJ, there's more than one way to skin a cat, but
yeah, I'm not gonna hurt the cat. It's just
I know
I'm not a cat person, but it is mom's cat, and
dogs all the way.
If
I
were to give it away without mom's permission, she would absolutely go ballistic.
On you.
So,
yeah.
I
get it. Trust me, I get it. But I'm not a cat person either. I don't mind them. Well, that's one thing. But I don't mind cats. But that's the reason I never could have one as a kid, because my mom was super allergic. But dogs all the way. But so I guess it's time to jump to my album, folks. And yeah, the original album I went right to one album as soon as I knew she was making her own album. I was like, all right, I'm jumping right to one album that is the most Christian-y album I listened to, and it wasn't Christian enough, folks. Hint, hint. But it was Christian with wicked shit in between, which is literally what they describe themselves as. So, So I tried to think of a different album, and I was like, all right, who can I bring that talks about religion? Because I'm like, I got nothing else Christian. I'm like, so who talks about religion? And I'm like, you know what? Let's piss CJ off for a week. Because actually, and now that I found out about that, what I found out about you today, I kind of wish I brought Marilyn Manson just to piss CJ off some more too. But I mean,
I don't dislike Manson. I just didn't like that record.
Mm,
The one you were going to do the other day, that was in
I
my
know.
top 5 for the year. So
I know. But I could have brought Manson. I just didn't think. You tell me a Christian artist to come on the show, and the artist I originally wanted to bring was originally like, this is crossing the line a little. In my mind, bringing Manson for a Christian artist is like going over the line, grabbing the devil, and being like, "Hey, come here! I want to show you something. Watch what I'm
Now,
about to do."
now I will disclaim that was pre-Jesus. That was like,
Oh,
but
that despicable Jesus. What can I say? But so I'm like, all right. I'm like, I know. I'm like, I got a band I brought in the show 5 times before. Yes, 5 times before. Might be my most brought band. I'm pretty sure. Maybe. Yeah, there's a close second. If not this is the second. I don't know. They're both up there. But I'm like, let's bring a band that talks historically about religious corruption and about religious corruption to this day, really too. I'm like, let's bring
yeah.
some Power Wolf because what's better than some Italian power metal about the Catholics? Because and as my grandparents always said, Christians hate Catholics. So that's what I was brought up to believe. Until many years later, when I met Catholic kids, and I was like, why do we hate them? But
Oh,
but yeah, it was a neighbor feud and everything else back in the 60s, 70s with my grandparents. So they hated Catholics were the wrong people. Christians were the right
oh,
people.
oh.
That's how I was brought up.
I look
So
at Christians and Catholics as this. I mean, different expressions, but like I consider Catholics to be Christians. So,
Catholics are somewhat strict Christians. There's stricter branches out there. Trust me. But um, yeah, it's just the way I was brought up. So I'm like, let's bring this band that talks about how bad the Catholic Church is. Uh, so I decided to bring Powerwolf's "Blessed and Possessed" because it is actually one of my favorite albums by them, and I didn't bring it yet. It's the 6th album I brought of theirs, and I didn't bring this one yet. So I'm like, screw it, let's do Powerwolf because it's not explicit at all, and
mm-mm.
maybe she'll enjoy. Maybe she'll actually enjoy it. We'll see. But and I listened to this album again today. I was well for once in many weeks now. I actually am very happy with the choice I brought compared to the last few times where I like it, but once I listen to it again, I'm like, I should have brought something else. But this time I actually was not disappointed one damn bit, unlike CJ. But I just, oh my god, I couldn't get over how good this album is. When I listened to it again, I'm like, these songs play constantly in my car, constantly, because Powerwolf has been my number one artist on Spotify for like the last 3 years of my raps. So, um, yeah, I listen to this band a lot. They have a lot of albums, but this album, it talks a lot about religion in general, but Catholicism in the medieval times and basically about religion in general, though. So I'm dying to hear, Bridget. What do you think of it? I'll shut the hell up.
I thought it was great. I love the lyrics, and I something else that I caught from it. They do a ton of instrumentals, like not in the middle, but like they do really long guitar riffs and instrumentals with the driving drums, and you don't hear that a ton in music right now. And so I was like, oh, this is like they let the song, they say what they're going to say, and then they let the song breathe, and then they crescendos, and then they bring it back. And like I thought it was a great album all around. And then I went and checked out some of their other music, and then I realized that I've heard them before because they're like in tons of scores on different films. And I can't think of the films right now, but you know what I'm talking about? Like when you hear them in cinematic movies, I've heard them
I
definitely before.
I have never heard Powerwolf in one damn movie. Now I'm kind of pissed off. I don't know about this, but
It's that da 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 that.
oh, they take samples from famous symphonies. Yeah, because
Okay.
that's
I
a
thought I
famous.
heard their version of something though, but
No,
anyway. Yeah, I
I
thought
mean
they were great.
it's highly possible if he's.
I was gonna say that's from the Damien movie.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's from yeah, that's from Omen. But um,
Yeah, the Omen. That's it.
Okay.
but
Why do they call it the Damien movie?
well, he's the
I
main
mean,
character.
I
But
mean, technically it is, but
it's all for you, Damien. It's all for you. But I yeah, I mean they like to reuse a lot of classic symphony type stuff, and I I
Incorporate
I,
it.
I didn't get to see them the one time they actually came to America and were near my house. I didn't get to go see them because I I had a damn baby born like a month before, so I was like, oh my god, and I just had the same thing happen with Lord of the Lost. I'm so pissed. But yeah, I mean, I I want to see them live so bad. If you watch like their videos of their lives, like they call themselves the Metal Mass, and
Yeah, I
it's
did. I
it's
did. I went and looked him up on Insta, like
uh,
immediately after you went and
mm,
said it, and I was like, oh wow, like it's very almost reminds me of oh gosh, what is his name? Alice Cooper. That type of demonstrative like performance art when there's do you know what I'm saying?
yep.
It's very very over the top, very but like in an amazing way. Like I thought they were great. So
Oh, I mean, yeah, their Metal Masters are incredible. They did one during COVID that they did for free on the internet. And it was so well done, so well done. But and I and Attila's voice is one of the best voices I've ever heard in my life. Like
oh
he
yeah.
can he I want to hear him just sing straight opera. I really do. He does somewhat close on these albums, but he doesn't really hit the real opera. And I want to hear him do a real freaking opera. I think he would kill it. But all right, CJ, let's hear your Powerwolf rant.
I don't have a rant so much. I just, unlike you, I don't like his voice. He reminds me of the male version of Tarja, which is not a compliment. Okay, for
How
those
dare
of you
you?
that like Tarja, awesome. I don't mind Tarja when she's singing in that sort of middle range, but when she starts going up into that operetta, she just completely loses the plot for me, and he does it as well. I don't know, man. I'm
I haven't brought.
they're not terrible. Like musically, as a band, if this was an instrumental record, I could get into this.
They have a ton of those. Every album they do is an instrumental version.
Okay, well, I could probably listen to those minus his voice. As far as the gimmick though, I'm
That's the thing. There's no gimmick. They literally paint their faces less than ICP does. Like they literally just whiten their faces. That's all they do. There's no gimmick.
well,
I mean, yeah, in the early days, the guitar players, the Wolf brothers did wear like wolf masks, but that they stopped doing that years ago, and now they just all paint their face white to make themselves look like zombies, basically, or vampires, whatever you want to call them. But it's
I'll have to go and listen to the instrumental versions. Like I said, I don't like his voice.
and well,
It's
they
not
there also have
it's
been
not enjoyable to me.
there also has been 3 albums released by them of other power metal and metal bands doing their songs. You might like those because it's other. That's how I discovered Anasake. That's how I discovered a lot of bands is by other bands doing their songs. What
I wasn't aware that Anasake had done.
they did Dancing with the Dead. They redid Dancing with the Dead. It's
Okay.
actually it's an amazing version. Born Speed has done a couple of their songs over. Like they have such a huge. They're such
Really?
they're so popular in Italy and in Europe that like bands die to do covers of their songs. Like it's like an honor. Windrose, I discovered them through one of their covers. I know you're not a big fan of them to begin with, but there's other ones too that you like. I can't think who the hell they are right now, but
I like Bjorn. Bjorn is awesome. His stuff with Soya Work and Nightblight Orchestra is incredible. So
I'll have to send you those links.
I'll look him up more. Like I said, the couple records I've heard, his voice kind of turns me off a little bit. Like I don't
and Kiss It. That's how I discovered Kiss and Dynamite. They did one of their songs.
Kiss and Dynamite did their song, or they did one of Kiss and...
They did one of Powerwolf songs.
Oh, okay. I love Kiss and Dynamite too.
That's how I discovered them. I discovered a lot of freaking bands through them doing Powerwolf songs. So yeah, if you're not the first person I ever met that didn't like his voice, I guess it's a well. I would say
I get a lot of shit for not liking Tarja as well. I mean, Tarja is one of them people I can only listen to her in small little
as
batches,
you should.
you know.
You should get all the shit for saying that.
I love Floor though. I
I
think
know
Floor was the perfect vocalist for.
you should get a lot of shit for that. Let's like not like Tarja. She's freaking.
When she's good, she's good. Like when she does Nemo, she's awesome. But like when she does Oceanborn, then she gets that the high soprano.
I love
and
that.
It gets annoying.
I love that. You should hear her rendition of Goldfinger, but it's amazing. And her rendition of Who Wants to Live Forever is freaking phenomenal.
No, I don't want to hear that.
Uh,
Nobody can sing that song other than Freddie. I'm sorry.
I know you feel that way now, but she doesn't do better than Freddie, obviously. But it's her and I want to say Arjun, if I'm not mistaken. It was off one of her solo albums.
All right, now I might have to look it up just because you mentioned it has Arjun on it. So
I think it's him.
he might cancel her out.
All right, I can't find it right now.
What's her name? Tari?
T-A-R.
It's
T-A-R-J-A. A lot of people say Tarja, but it's actually pronounced Tarja.
Okay.
Kind of like in German. If your name is U-W-E, you would think it was Uwe. It's actually Uwe.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's, I correct people on it all the time because it's Tarja, Tarnahan. No, not Tarja, it's Tarja.
Right.
Actually, I'm sorry. It's not her that does it. It is Arjun, but it's Arjun and Floor that do it.
Oh, now that would be.
It was a bonus track on one of the After Forever CDs.
Oh. Okay, now you know what? Now I got to bring that up because you just hit like sort of a holy trio with that. Floor, Arjun, and After Forever. Like.
Yeah. No, but Tarja's version of Goldfinger is amazing. At the end she hits the high soprano. And
like I said, I gotta listen to her in small bursts because there's stuff by her that I love and there's stuff by her that I like.
I mean, if there's one thing that she's perfect for, it's a Bond song.
I do like when her and Marco performed together.
Oh, when they did Left on Mars on his solo album that he just did, like phenomenal.
Marco has that low voice and she has the high voice, so they kind of balance each other. So I could tolerate it, but yeah.
All right. Well, we'll move off of talking about artists and have Brigitte be like, who? Oh
no, I got a whole list to look up now. I like it.
Yeah, we're good for that. But so I honestly could have listed this whole CD and just ranked it honestly, but I was highly avoiding doing that. So I only got one honorable mention for this. I kept it listed as small as I could. Sacramento Sister is my was my only honorable mention, just because I love how it makes fun of Catholics. I love because my grandmother always said about nuns, they're hiding something underneath their coven. And I didn't know what the hell she meant when I was younger. I thought that she meant they're wearing thongs, and then eventually she told me, she's like, no, it means they're pregnant. I'm like, oh, okay, and I'm like, oh, that's even more insulting. Oh, but and I watch a lot of horror movies nowadays, so yeah, that lines up with horror movies. But my number 5 was Dead Until Dark. I love any of their songs are about like vampires or werewolves or zombies, which are their specialties. So that song is amazing, and the guitar riffs in that song are so beyond belief good. Mm-hmm. My number 4 is Higher Than Heaven, because that's, to me, is like kind of like one of their Christian songs. And his voice in that song when he's singing like Higher Than Heaven is like like it's musicism. And hearing him do that live is just, he doesn't lose his quality. He can keep his voice in a live setting better than most bands I've ever met. But my number 3 was Army of the Night. basically because it's about being a Catholic too. Like we, th- there's other albums of theirs I wish I could have brought that I already brought because they have songs like Catholic in the morning, Satanist at night, and
Yeah.
like they have a lot of other songs that hit on a lot more. Or what's the other one? I think of damn it, they don't come to me. But uh, God, oh, sit, Mister. God damn it, I forgot what number it is, but my number two was "We Are the Wild" because with this album moving forward, they kind of like had like these nature-driven songs where like it's more like on their werewolf side of things, but it's just about like being one with nature. And "We Are the Wild," the guitar and that and the drums are just so good. And I mean, it's not even like him singing his operatic voice. It's just like almost like they're doing like a regular metal band song,
Hmm.
and the guitar is just phenomenal. Nothing about that song could ever disappoint me. But my number one had to be "Let There Be Night" because nothing about that song is done wrong in any aspect. Just an epic, incredible song, which they are amazing with ending their albums with those types of songs. So like their first album ever, they ended with a song called "Son of the Morning Star," and like it starts off with all like these instrumentals of like crickets and frogs, and like it's supposed to be like setting the stage for like right when Lucifer fell to Earth, and it's
Oh,
that's
neat.
that song will give you goosebumps. Like if even if you slightly like even someone like me who slightly believes there's a chance there might be a devil, I don't really think there's a devil like as religions portray it, but like just someone who like believes that like you hear that song and you're just like getting little goosebumps in the back of your arms like oof this is
Yeah.
too close to home. It's just so cinematically done well. Honestly, it should have been Supernatural when Lucifer appeared in Supernatural, but that's my opinion. I don't write the show, unfortunately. I wish. But did you have any top songs for this one, Bridget, or did you? I know you couldn't write them down really, but
I
any come
didn't
to
write it.
memory?
I didn't write them down, but I did listen to album in its entirety, and so I liked all of them. I liked the driving behind it, especially. It reminded me of, oh gosh, it's very progressive rock as far as like the drums and just the way it makes you feel. It almost makes your heart, like I remember. So I'm driving and I start going a little bit faster than normal because I'm like, oh, like, and you gotta almost like, ooh, it
You,
gives you that type of adrenaline feel when you're listening to it. So I liked all the songs, and then I was wrestling with it because I was like, are they actually a Christian band? Like what? And then I went and looked at some of their other stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, no, they're just very good at expressing thoughts, and I love that. I love just exploring different thought outlets and avenues, and just the way that they were able to express their. I didn't know if they were Catholics themselves at some point, but the way that they were able to explore the themes of Catholicism throughout, and I thought it was a cinematic masterpiece. It was beautiful, and I love his voice. I loved his voice. So
oh, they have a lot of other music. Um, yeah. Actually, one of their newer songs that makes fun of Catholics is "Undressed to Confess."
oh, I didn't see that one. I went
Yeah,
through I went through quite a few of their, like,
they
a
don't.
lot of their stuff because it
There's no music video for that one. That's why it didn't come up. But
okay.
because there's no music video for that one. But "Undressed to Confess" is uh, "We All Must Undress to Confess" is like literally the chorus. Like it pokes fun at priests so bad.
Yeah,
But and I mean their best song ever is called "Resurrection by Erection." It is the funniest song you ever hear in your life.
that's the name of the song.
"Stick Your Phallus to the Sky." Yeah, yeah, it's an amazing song. I there's they literally just say like they literally just say like lay in the ground with your dick facing the sky like in 10 different amazing lyrical ways and it's freaking hilarious. I've had so many people I have had so many people like I think Battle Beast actually did a version of that too. But there's so many people that listen to that song and they're just like, oh my god, this is one of the funniest songs I've ever heard in my life. Like He has a sense of humor about him. He really does. If you listen to like his live albums, like when he's doing like the in between song chatter with the audience, he's just funny. Like he just
Mhm.
is he's such a funny man. And in interviews, he's so freaking humble. He was just a kid who got taught to sing opera and he wanted to use it for rock. That's all it was. But CJ, do you have any top songs for this or?
Um, I We Are the Wild was the main one. I like the sort of gang vocals on that one, the big choruses. Um, it
It's like a metal song, yeah.
yeah,
It's like a
it
regular
was a
metal song.
little. It did, and you mentioned Kissing Dynamite. It kind of almost has a Kissing Dynamite vibe to that song. So that one was decent, and then I can't remember the other one. I think it was Armada Strigoi
Ar-
was I think that
Armada
was the
Street,
one that
Armada Street Goy. It's about vampires.
yeah, I think that was the other one because that one kind of struck me as like, okay, that would make
Oh,
like a good like sort of movie soundtrack type
Yeah.
of song.
oh.
Um
I mean, if you watch their music videos, their music videos are basically like 3-minute horror movies. And actually, there was a song from this album, the first song on this album, "Let There Be Night." That's the song Kiss and Dynamite did over.
okay, I'll have to check that one out. I really like Kissing Dynamite. They're one of the new German bands that are really good and
Well, I wouldn't say they're new anymore. They've been around for like 20 years now.
well, I mean, yeah.
I went through the whole discography a while back, and oh my god, it took a long time. But
My religion is rock and roll.
yeah,
I love that song. Not the message so much, but it's so bombastic, and it's just the drums and the guitars in that song. It's so singable. It's like this big earworm. And
yeah. I Kiss and Let's get freaky off the first album. That's still the best song they ever did. Freaky, freaky, freaky. Like it's just such a classic '80s rock song.
yeah,
Like,
they are. They are definitely an '80s style band that was born 20 years too late.
Yeah.
You know
That and that's the one album that was actually brought on the show was still Swabia. But I started at the beginning and I haven't got anywhere further from that yet. But well, folks, we brought you your albums thrice for the night. We taught Brigitte about a lot of new music to look up. As always, we're good with that with our guests. If they're looking to learn, we always have something to teach. But well, folks, come back next week. I don't know what albums yet. Even our guest hasn't given me a clue what she wants to bring yet, so we'll see. But till then, we do want to thank Bridget for coming on because it's been a fun show, and we got to discover her music, which always love discovering new music of our guests. It's always a pleasure. I'm honestly surprised when they don't want to bring their own music. I'm like I always ask them like, you didn't want to bring your own music? And like some of them are too scared of what we'll say, I think. But
Oh,
I mean,
I don't care. You could tell me you loved it or hated it. It's all,
we've always been polite about it, and if we didn't like it, we've always been polite about it, and never gonna tell someone as soon as I get on my show, your music fucking sucks. Like,
right.
not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. But Bridget, where can they find you? Where can they find your music? Where can they follow you if they want to learn more about you?
I'm on all the socials, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and then anywhere that you stream music, Spotify, Apple, all the places. And then BridgetteDonoho.com is my website.
Oh, there you go, folks. The website will be right in the Spotify. Most likely will be right in the description for you all to follow, of course. And DJ, where can they find you besides becoming Powerwolf's the biggest fan possibly?
The website is musicgodcjplaying.rocks. You can find me on the Bocce Book, the Tiki Talk, and all the other, weird places. Same thing. Record come out around my birthday. It'll be around April 20th. Hopefully around that time, we're also going to do the book at the same time. So, we're gonna do a big 420. I'm looking to do a big 420 rollout this year. So, I don't smoke, but we gonna smoke kinda. We're gonna
roll out and roll up.
That's right. So, yeah, mainly just look up CJ Plane or the music god CJ Plane, and you'll find my ugly mug. I'm all over.
Yeah, I mean, feel free to steal that, man. Roll out and roll up. That sounds like a good name for it. But, well, folks, it would work. Trust me, that would sell itself. Just have do it at a dispensary. There you go. But folks, you can find both your musers on Facebook as Squatchy Largefoot, on the X and the Gram is that Juggalo Bastard, and of course, YouTube. Best place to always find us is YouTube. All 150 plus regular episodes and all the specials are on YouTube. You can see all of our pretty faces.
I might do a country rap style song to that, actually. Like a Bubba Sparks Moonshine Bandits type of.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Oh, I love me some Moonshine Bandits. But that's right, folks. YouTube and of course any podcatcher you can find us. Come back next week, see what's going on. By the time this releases, the TV theme song bracket will be done, and our cartoon theme song bracket, if I can speak tonight, will be done. And I don't know what's coming next. Whoever wins gets a pick. You'll find out by the time this episode comes out, I'm sure. So have a good night, everybody, and we'll see you next time.